And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Olive, Nina, and Esme. Olive, Nina, and Esme made Cinderella do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes," said Olive, Nina, and Esme. One day, the king of Onlyville's messenger said, hear ye, the king of Onlyville is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Singling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Olive said, he's going to marry me. Nina said, no way, Olive. He's going to marry me. Esme said, both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Singling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Cinderella what is wrong. Why are you crying, Cinderella? She asks. Cinderella responds, I wanted her to go to the ball and marry Prince Singling, but I'm not welcome. The fairy godmother waved her wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! And then, Cinderella's chores are all done. But the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has one pumpkin. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! Again, and to turn Cinderella's do-rag and clothes into a gown. I've never seen such a wonderful gown. I get a load of my glass slippers, and then the pumpkin into a carriage drawn by 2 strong horses. The fairy godmother said, have fun, Cinderella, but I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Singling was wondering who he should marry. Olive, Nina, and Esme said all together, he's walking towards me. But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Singling dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Singling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled around Onlyville to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where her Cinderella and her stepsisters lived. He said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try this glass slipper? Olive is first, but her foot is too big. Nina is next, but her foot is too small. Esme is last, but her foot didn't fit either. Suddenly, Prince Singling noticed Cinderella singing. Cinderella said. Prince Singling, is that you? Prince Singling said, of course it's me. Cinderella gets so excited because she's having to have her Prince Singling back. And they lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story before bed enters doors. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to my video. Take care. Bye and good night, everybody. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents for the 3100 and episode special 31 It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we, Andrew's Doers? Once upon a time, there was a young woman named 31 had 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tasha, Hilda, Isabella, Ramona, Tanya, Irina, Olivia, Nina, and Ella. All 9 of them made 31 do all the chores and watch her work by saying, 31 wench, sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all. One day, the king of Undricham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of Undrichamham, his royal majesty, is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Undrichamling. Can I come? Asks 31 but she's denied. So her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are invited. He's going to marry me, said Tasha, the oldest stepsister, but her younger sisters disagree. They even test her 31 dress. Later, 31 is so sad, distraught and upset about not going to the ball and marry Prince Undrichamling. Suddenly, she was crying so hard that she didn't know. Her fairy godmother arrives and comforts her. There now, my dear 31 I'll fix everything for you, she said. She then waves her magic wand. And because of that, 31 chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet, she said. 31 go fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, 31 has 31 pumpkins and 62 mice. 31 fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 31 pumpkins into a handsome coach and 62 mice and horses and fixes 31 torn dress and makes it bigger and better. 31 said, I've never seen such a wonderful gown. Get out of my glass slippers, fairy godmother. How can I ever thank you enough? And climbed into the coach. 31 his fairy godmother said, well, you can't. But have fun, 31 my dear. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. And gave her a clock to tell her what time it is. 31 accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of Undrichamling says, Good evening, everyone. Prince Undrichamling was wondering who he should marry. Isn't that right, son? In which the Prince Undrichamling responds, Yes, father. Suddenly, 31 arrived at the ball just in time. He's walking towards me, say Tasha, Hilda, Isabella, Ramona, Tanya, Irina, Olivia, Nina, and Ella all together. But Prince Undrichamling is not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 31 Prince Undrichamling then says, May I have this dance? In which 31 responds, I would be delighted. And so, 31 and Prince Undrichamling dance happily together, but later. 31 checks her clock and it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Untreacher was really worried that he might never see 31 again. The king of Untreacher comforts him by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find 31 my dear daughter-in-law. And so, the king of Untreacher and Prince Untreacher began their journey. All around Untreacher to find her 31 and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrived, Prince Untreacher knocked on the door of the home where 31 and her 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 31 they find Tasha to Ella. Prince Untreacher then said, Ladies, my father, the king of Untreacher and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Tasha is first, but her foot is too big. Hilda is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits! She said. The rest are the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the king of Untreacher and Prince Untreacher noticed saying, Your Majesty and Prince Untreacher, is that you guys? She hollered excitedly. The glass slipper fits! And 31 the king of Untreacher and the Prince Untreacher lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Sorry it's been a few side effects, but don't worry. And by the way, I've been debating on making some sequels. So if you want to see maybe someday 31 2, 31 Wishes Come True, or something like that. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And buy our merchandise at andrewdoeseverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 331 It is based on the story of Cinderella, with a twist, that is. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named 331 331 had 23 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Allie, Amy, Hilda, Ursula, Natalie, Dahlia, Ramona, Ezra, Daisy, Tilly, Harriet, Isabella, Rosalina, Terry, Yadina, Olive, Nina, and Esme. All 23 of them made 331 do all the chores, sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all. Set them all together. One day, the king of Double 31ville's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of Double 31ville is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Trinja into Trimillupling. But 331 is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Tasha. No, oh wait, Tasha, you're wrong. He's going to marry me, said Hannah. Rena said, both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. The rest said, all three of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, 331 is so sad, doing chores, that she can't go to the ball and marry Prince Untreacher Trimillupling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks for 331 what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, 331 In which 331 responds, I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Untreacher Trimillupling. but I have lots of chores to be done. 331 Arella. This fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic. She chants the magic words. Double, triple, single, toilet trouble! And waves her magic wand. Because of that, 331 Arella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 331 Arella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, 331 Arella is 331 pumpkins and 662 mice. 331 Arella's fairy godmother chants the magic words, double, triple, single, toilet trouble, and waves her magic wand again to turn the 331 Arella's 331 pumpkins into a handsome coach, the 662 mice into horses, and the 331 Arella's ripped clothes into a gown and crown. 331 Arella said, I've never seen such a 330 wonderful gown. And get a load of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? 331 Arella's fairy godmother said, well, you can't. But have fun, 331 Arella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. And gave her a clock to tell her what time it is. 331 Arella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Undrajajito Tri-Milabling said, who should I marry? And suddenly, 331 Arella walks in. He's walking towards me, said her 23 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters all together, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 330 Arella. Prince Undrajajito Tri-Milabling then asks, may I have this dance? In which 331 responds, I would be delighted. 331 Arella and Prince Undrajajin Tri-Milabling get happily together. But when 331 Arella checks her clock, it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Undrajajin Tri-Milabling was so worried that he might never see 331 Arella again. So he traveled all around Double Free Oneville to find her, and brought the glass slipper with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the home where 331 and her 23 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters live. But instead of 331 Arella, he finds her 23 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters. Prince Tri-Milabling then said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you try on this glass slipper? Tasha is first, but her foot is too big. Hannah is next, but her foot is too small. But she said, nonsense, it fits. The rest are the same, but none of the feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Undrajajin Tri-Milabling notices 331 Arella singing. Prince Undrajajin Tri-Milabling, is that you? Hollered 331 Arella excitedly. 331 Arella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Undrajajin Tri-Milabling back, and the glass slipper fits! And they both lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and it does everything. And buy our merchandise, etc. And I've been making the sequels a bit of a tradition. So, if you want to see maybe someday 331 round of 2. 331 wishes come true. Tell your friends about it. And take care, Andrews Doers. Bye. And good night, everybody. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Or don't let the monsters give you a fright.